And hello and welcome to Uptown Tonight. Oh man, it is in October 19th. They're actually coming to you from the past, looking straight into the future here. But, we are the Uptown Tonight Podcast, the FM area's weekly entertainment podcast where we believe a rising tide does raise all ships. And we are here to show off our FM area entertainers. So today you have me as your host, Mr. Wayne Stollenfacher, or I was called Tom Cruise again a couple days ago by a 7th grader, if you believe that, Shaw. And so, I'm just Tom Cruise. I've been called Tom Brady for whatever reason. Steve Wozniak, Steve Jobs. I don't understand all these names, but call me what you want. We're here today with Mr. Vang. So,
Hello.
Yes, this is going to be exciting. The second time on. This guy has been busy. But first, I need to talk about myself for a few minutes. So, we're going to get to, we have our merch, Uptown merch, so we can get our t-shirts from small to extra large. You just got to find us on stage. We're going to be out at the Poorhouse this weekend, so you can come out and check us out at the Poorhouse up in Grand Forks. And then there's old Zebras. Now, Cha, does he look like that anymore?
Doesn't look like it, yeah.
No, see, then the poor couch wasn't the same after that either, but yeah. No, that's about the size of his head right now. That dog. And then we got Cito. He's hanging on to old Junior there. Junior's doing well. He's showing off all of our merch. One whole t-shirt. But come on out and keep us on the road. Give us some gas money. Buy a t-shirt. And then, we didn't do anything last week. So it was a nice weekend off for once. And that's all I have for this weekend. But let's get to Cha, because I'm fairly boring here. So, Cha, you've been extremely busy.
Oh, yeah.
These past, since I seen you last. I mean, man, you got albums out. You're, I think, our top 3 of most viewed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
On this channel, and man, it's really, really cool. So
I'm very honored.
I think that's really awesome. So what's been going on lately? I know it's going to be a long talk, so let's bring you way back to like when last time we talked to you. With 88 Diagrams, and you were talking about you were working on an album at the time. And then that album is now released, and then you did another album. And some singles out too, and you're actually out oh my gosh, we got a ton to talk about. So let's go back. The album release, what's that one called and all that? I mean, we have it on here, but bring us to it.
All right. Actually, the first thing I just wanted to talk about, just a little thing you mentioned in the intro. I sympathize with that because I was actually called Jackie Chan. It was an interesting.
I hope that was in a good way.
I actually got a photo with them too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
I'd love to be Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I was at the Caribbean with my family for a cruise, and one of the shopkeepers was like, Jackie Chan! And I was like, oh, what? Me? Yeah, I also remember after I explained I'm not Jackie Chan, she was like, next time if you come back, I'll give you a nice Caribbean lady for you. I was like, I'm 16.
Wow, you're getting some perks already.
But anyways, there was a lot that happened, but I didn't remember back in the previous episode I talked about my mixtape Waifu Bath Salts. Yes, and I finally got that release. I'm very proud of it. I think a lot of it is because this is like the first time I've actually done a full-fledged project where it's actually me rapping. And I've always wanted to kind of experiment with like my lyrical abilities, especially with how, being honest, I actually started I got more into rapping because I didn't have that many rappers to like work with. And so I kind of just said, screw it, I'm gonna rap by myself. Because I initially thought I'd just be a producer, but it was just like, I can't find anyone to work with, so I would just rap on it.
Was that just in Fargo or just in general?
Just in general.
Okay.
When I first started off, I was like little, so it was probably like high school, middle school-ish. I think senior year was the year when I started getting heavy into like writing lyrics. But I did remember I dabbled into rapping a tad bit before. I remember my first rapping experience, it was actually on the bus in middle school. And one of the kids was like...
The best audience ever.
Yep. And one of the kids was freestyling. And I was like, this seems fun. And I ended up trying to rap too, but I couldn't freestyle, so I just wrote everything. And I would just share it to him. I still remember one of my first bars. This is this is gonna be very dirty, maybe.
Oh,
but like
yourself, man. Don't worry about it.
But one of my first bars was like, "I'm gonna hit you like a dump truck. Fuck, 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 fuckity, fuck, fuck."
That sounds very junior high. Yes.
Yeah. But I think I got more into hip hop around senior year, and then I ended up getting interested in like lyricism and just like writing lyrics. And so a lot of Waifu Bath Salts is me trying to show like, hey, I could rap too, or at least this is kind of what it's like. This is me rapping essentially. And I was influenced by a bunch of other rappers, especially within the abstract realm. So a huge influence was MF Doom. I don't know if you know him. MF Doom.
No.
He's like the evil villain of hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is why we bring you guys in, so you educate me. I love that.
I was also influenced by people like Arm & Hammer, aka Elucid, and Billy Woods, Aerospace, who I could talk a little bit more about because I mentioned there's another thing that happened recently that relates to that, but I think I could save it for later on. And yeah, just a bunch of other people. And I think the concept was just like, I want to rap about waifus, like anime waifus, but also I want to see if I could make things like as hard as possible, or at least like kind of grimy-ish. And a lot of it was inspired by this also ties into the next album, a YouTuber named Sid Snap, in which she essentially does these weird like anime sort of product reviews. And one of the things she did was, this feels like, first off, I feel like I'm gonna like cancel this entire episode. I'm sorry.
I think you're fine.
Yeah.
Just like an anime product.
Like it's
okay.
We'll say it's very like not safe for work products. And like one of the things she did was like,
sounds like something my son would be in.
It's like the video I remember watching was like such as bath salts boast in the sense of like different fetishes.
Gotcha.
So it's like, was it sweat of an athletic girl bath salts? And I'm like, what? But I just remember her coining the term waifu bath salts. I was like, I love that term so much. And then it first started off as just me wanting to make references to it, but then I was like, let's make a whole album. Let's make a whole mixtape based on just this stupid concept.
There you go. Exploring your territory.
Yeah. But yeah, I also it was a very fun thing. There's actually 2 versions of the album. A lot of it's due to, I guess, sample issues. I mean, the whole album I do sample a lot. Okay. But there are certain samples where it's like they're from videos and all that, and I just felt very wrong just putting it on platforms where I get a lot of profit from.
Gotcha.
So there's a just the regular version, which is on like Spotify, iTunes, you know, the major streaming platforms. Excuse me. And then the laced version, which is essentially the true edition of the mixtape, which is on like Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and YouTube. So it's probably the one that you might be playing if you had a playing it.
Yeah, I was on the YouTube one looking at that. So
yeah. So yeah, that's kind of like the major things I guess I have, other than shoot, I forgot his like username, but I've always called him Joe. But shout out to Joe for doing the kick-ass album art. Like, it was so much fun. Just like,
it's to you, Joe. Yes.
Hey. Yeah, he did like the two versions of it, because there's like the one for lace and one for the regular waifu bath salt. So it's just like, yeah. And also that idea came from JPEG Mafia and how he did his album LP. And LP, it was like there are some tracks cut from the Spotify version and such, because of how his label during the time didn't want to pay for sample rights for some of these songs.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so there's like the offline edition, which is only on Bandcamp, and it's like the true edition of the LP. While LP, they were like, labels like, we'll just put in some of his already popular songs in it as well to fill in time. So,
gotcha. You gonna have any like physical media with this? Or is just gonna be all online?
I really want to do physical media. I had an idea and plan. I just need to execute it. Yeah.
Vinyl? I think it'd be freaking sweet.
Dude, I actually researched vinyl, and I looked at one of the websites that kind of helped distribute it.
Okay.
And my issue was they only taken like 1,000 to 10,000 or more sort of like copies.
Gotcha.
However, it's like a very expensive like process, you know. So I think I end up being like 35, not 35,000. That's too much. Like 5,000 or so dollars.
Yeah.
Just for like 1,000. I'm like,
for a startup fee. Yeah, that's fun.
Oh yeah. So maybe I might just like burn the CDs, write on Sharpie, and like put it in the case or something. Yeah, like
I did that 20 years ago. We did a ton of that type of stuff. Oh yeah, get your mixtape out there.
Oh yeah. Actually, I did that when I first started making music. It was like just my very old, crappy EDM tracks that I made as like a middle schooler, and I only gave it to like a few friends. So depending on how things go, those could be rare collectibles, I guess.
Oh yeah, look at that right there. You better hang on to them. Still have that.
Oh yeah.
No, so then you got onto a second album. What sparked that whole thing? You know, you just glutton for punishment, or are you just really that much of a worker at it?
There's actually a funny story about it.
Okay.
Because so this relates to Sid Snap, because I'm actually a huge fan of another podcast called Trash Taste. And they're essentially this anime, but also they talk about Japan and wherever sort of podcasts. But the best way I can sell it is think of 3 of the biggest AniTubers on YouTube, who essentially talk about anime, but also they're YouTubers, making a podcast together. And they ended up going on tour, still on tour right now in the U.S. But their first date was St. Paul. But however, I wasn't able to go. I got so mad. I was like, I'm gonna make an entire album based around that.
Well, there's inspiration.
Yeah. So, what I did was throughout the entire album, it's me remixing or sampling their main theme, which apparently is actually this royalty-free sort of like song. Like, I don't know, anyone could just use it. And I ended up just mixing it into different genres. So,
fun.
Yeah, a lot of it's like different hip hop genres, but there's also electronic as well. Like, shoot, I need to look at the names, because like some of the names are also based on the episodes. And the only one I could think of off the top of my head is the anime figure episode, which is based around breakcore, drum and bass, and EDM, so like trance music and like happy hardcore music. So
so for our older audience members, including myself, could you break down all 3 of those genres for us?
So I guess breakcore, it's like the best way I could describe it is, imagine drum and bass is also well known for, you know, the Amen break.
Yes.
Yeah. Essentially, imagine that, but just like crazy, very glitched out, very like out there.
I like that term, glitched out.
I guess I don't know what else to describe it other than like, I guess the process when playing around with the almond break, I literally sequenced it on a bunch of pads. I just was like, you know, so it's like each pad has a different section of it. So instead of like
interesting.
Yeah, so instead of like it'd be like yeah, it's something like
max headroom for those old people. Yes.
Yeah. It's like IDM music in a way. I might be wrong, so people online could vouch for me being like, he's describing breakcore wrong.
But, you can admonish us in the comments below. Go for it.
Actually, I just remember now. Someone described it as, I think this is the best way someone's described it. Imagine the Powerpuff Girls theme, but on crack. Because it's like the but there's also the that stuff. And then trance music is essentially electronic, sort of melodic, like techno, but it's like around 145 BPM.
Okay.
It's also well known for having a like syncopated bass line, so you'd get the kick like the. And then you'd also get, sorry for my bad beatboxing, but like you'd also get the bass.
Amongst friends.
But you'd also get the bass where it's like, so it's like, but then the bass is also melodic too. So you could be like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's that. Happy hardcore is kind of, I don't think it's like a mixture of both, but it's like very faster. So it's very like around 170 to 180 BPM. Yeah, and sometimes
that's moving.
Yep, and sometimes they would even distort the like kick drum. So instead of like a flat like, it'd be like boom 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 boom. Yeah,
a little extra yes.
Oh yeah, but yeah, so that's kind of an example of, I'm looking at the track list right now. That's kind of an example as to like the concept of the album, just like me exploring different genres, especially within the realms that I'm familiar with. So it's like hip hop and electronic music.
Still, that's really interesting. It's all the same song, right? And then
yep.
I
kind of just sampled it and just like messed around with it. Like the track "We Are Dying" is actually based around trip hop, so like Portishead and like Massive Attack. Yeah,
I haven't heard that term, Portishead. Oh my god.
Portishead, yeah, dude, I love Dummy, man. But I think the funnest and the funniest track for me is the hentai episode. It goes to like the not safe for work thing where I want to experiment with industrial noise rap, something like clipping, and I guess in my head I just thought of the idea of like, I want to try making a dirty sex rap, but like the dirtiest thing I could think of.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So a lot of my bars on that was just me like making dumb sex BDSM references. And I also love the little intro part where it's like me sampling a bunch of their warnings, because they also had episodes where it's like, yeah, warning, you should be cautious of the things we're going to talk about. I just sampled a bunch of those like little things all together to be more of like a warning. This song may or not be appropriate.
This song will not be appropriate.
Yeah. But yeah.
Shape or form. Well, should we get to the music then, or do you have like some other insights on like what you're doing in the background of all that? So I know you put out a couple of actually let's talk about your live performance.
Oh yeah.
Because I sent that photo of you actually like with the microphone in the hands, like, oh yeah, go shot.
Yeah.
So where was that, and like what's inspired that? What are you performing?
So that was that photo specifically, it was at my university sort of like talent show.
Okay.
And I guess in my head I kind of just thought, okay, this would be a great opportunity for me to get more into the performing side. Because I promised myself, I think I mentioned it in the last podcast, after Waifu Bath Salts, I want to try getting into performing.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think also because of that, it's gone to a point where I'm like, maybe I should start doing more rapping stuff. And then for project-wise, I would just slow down on like just having instrumental tracks. Excuse me. So I actually performed at last week. I went to the front room.
Front room, yeah.
Yeah, open mic. I performed there.
Travis Niblok. Yes.
Yep. I hope I did a good job. Like, it seemed like everyone kind of liked it, but I like ran after I was done. I just like packed my things and left, because I also had to catch the bus too.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I didn't knew if people would come up to me and be like, "Hey, that was nice," you know. Like, I literally just like run.
Oh, you'll be surprised. Everyone's so supportive around here. It's really cool. Really cool.
I'm glad. And then I also used that open mic as a way to practice for the Dragon's Got Talent.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, got to cut your teeth someplace.
Oh yeah, and that was very fun. I knew for a fact when performing, there were a few songs I wanted to do, and I was kind of just selecting on, like, since I was doing most of the rapping stuff, some of my personal favorites, like ones that I'm like, I love this verse so much, or things that I feel like the crowd would probably like a lot, as well as stuff where it's like you could probably hype people up. Like, one of my favorite parts was I did a remix of BTS Fake Love, and
that just sounds bad.
And I knew for a fact that there were a lot of K-pop fans in the audience.
Oh.
So I think this was probably my favorite part of the performance. I have them say "Fake Love" with me because I had my friend Ricky Yen, shout out to Ricky Yen, like doing the vocal parts, you know, because I can't sing for shit, honestly.
Don't feel bad.
And during his parts where he just sung the chorus, I was like, I'm gonna be a hype man. So I was like, "Fake love, fake love," and the crowd chanted back. I was like, whoa. But I did want to add collaboration with it. I wanted to showcase a lot of the people that I've worked with as well. So the first few songs, well, actually the first part, it was like an acapella for an unreleased song. I'm working with two of my peers, Shaka B Cakes and Two Glitch. Shout out to them, by the way. And I won't go deep into the verse other than it's probably one of my favorite verses of all time because I play around with the whole counting numbers. So it's like each bar, it's like references to 1 and then 2, 1, 3, and it just counts down all the way to 16. And it's
interesting.
Like, yeah. Huh. So it's like it goes 1 for the treble, bass and sopranos, 2 a deli duo, Hail Machiavelli, Eyes on Me. You want to be 3 6 mafias with no triforce. I'm on 4 Fantastic Father Factory Space Cult Floors.
I was like, holy shit.
But then after that, I also got 2 rhyme stands with my dear friend as well as my rap mentor, essentially, This Thoughts, who I've met online. He's from like the Froze Islands. Shout out to him too.
I never thought of a rap mentor before. But that makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't that be a thing? Oh my god.
It's funny how we met. We were actually part of the same sort of community because we were part of this place called Home Wolf, where we were fans of this YouTuber named Boy in the Band, who's well known for doing I think it's like the School Sucks song, where it talks about how like why is it that schools they teach you about algebra but they don't teach you about like economics and math and like taxes and all that.
Yep.
And I was trying to work with him and a bunch of other buddies on just like this sort of like Home Wolf choppers where everyone just raps fast on like this beat. And he also talked about like, you know, what if anime characters were rappers? How would their styles be? And we ended up talking about like how the one I can remember was Erza from Fairy Tail. She'd be this rapper named Ruby Imbrata or something like that. She's really good. She's an amazing rapper, but it's like she's very unknown. Yeah, stuff like that. I don't know, like imagine Goku being Tupac. Like but
mind blown. Like, what's going on?
Just like connecting those two worlds together, and then we ended up just talking a lot, and I think a lot of my rap ideas also come from him. And he helped me a lot when it comes to things such as cadences, rhymes, how I should flow, syllable counts. You know, I think it was because of him he made me realize that when rapping, I feel like he could get this too as a percussionist. You know, it's almost very percussive, especially with the syllables.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like you got to think of like meter too, especially because he made me realize when it comes to the whole rapping fast thing, you're not just saying fast words like or just a bunch of words like. You gotta put them selectively together to make things work.
To fit in the phrase, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like notes. You can't just be like, I'm gonna play random notes and hope that it will be fast. Like, no, like you gotta make things conjoined and work. So, yeah.
It's fascinating. You make me think about all this stuff. So we had a few people in here who talked a lot about lyrics and everything else. I always point to people when they start doing that. Check out the John Huber episode. It's like one of the first 10 that we have, but that guy just, I mean, he goes deep and he was just blowing my hair back. He's going to be on the podcast here, I think next week for the Halloween one, but he'll be back. But no, that guy goes really deep into the lyric stuff, and this is kind of really cool listening to it and talking in ways that I can actually keep up with you. So thank you for that. I can understand like the cadences and then like all
a really cool example
counts and all that.
A really cool example is like recently the whole like triplet flow.
Yeah.
Inspired by like 3 6 Mafia. Dang, I'm getting the song and Tear the Club Up's like my head now. Like tear the club up. But like that whole triple flow where they're kind of like no. Yeah, that's sort of like flow.
Oh my God, wiggity whack.
Yeah. So, but anyways, this thought's kind of just like helped me out with like everything with that, and I want to show love to him through that song, just being like, yo, I finally performed it live, and then after that, I also we could talk about this a bit later on, but like I'm part of a rap group now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I performed essentially our first single. I did the hook. Well, someone else recorded the hook, but I performed the hook, and then my verse, which is also very sentimental because it was the first time I've rapped in my native language. So.
Oh, interesting right there too.
Yeah, and then yep, and then also I did a track for a remix I did, which is also one of my favorite verses because it was me experimenting with that whole fast rap, like when we talk about cadences and all that. Like I think first line was like, "What do you know about my killer like flow?" And it's like it was literally me sitting down on like a Google Doc, like, what do you know about my killer like flow? And it's like making sure that everything fits. But and then I did the BTS Fake Love remix with Ricky Yen. Shout out to him. Hopefully I could do more stuff with him too. And
yes, Ricky.
Yeah. He's known a little bit more for like K-pop sort of like covers and Asian pop covers, but I would love to work with him even more with maybe doing more original stuff. Like I'm currently, kind of a spoiler, I'm currently trying to make some beats for both of us to like rap on here and there. So, and knowing how he's Laotian and knowing how we've both grown up with essentially the similar types of music, like Asian pop music from like our parents' age, I want to sample some of that. So, yeah. And then there's like a bunch of other songs.
Sorry. I'm just gonna break it here.
I got you.
You gotta amp up, gotta keep your head up, adrenaline for blackmail.
Oh, I didn't see you there. You made it just in time for the sampling.
Yo. Welcome to the mixtape, or album, whatever you want to call it. Hope you enjoy. Yeah. Rosie on my neck is up two-sided like mocha. One half is calm, the other probably shook ya. Just a spit will make you freeze like an owner, like he's a rain with a stick who's about to smoke your loyalty like a yandere, not a simulation. Every time appears hurt, I'm murder violators, not a hero. Gamble menopause and kitchen knives or destroy your PC like Monica. Click apply to change like the water woods. Give it a grain of basalt or a mixture of concealer bleach and a thing of asphalt metamorphosis. Best to end it all with JoJo reference. So dragons and thorns like Claire. The JoJo preference of leaves and heady.
So essentially the beat is literally just a sample. That's it. Like they don't add more drums, they don't add the bass, it's just
as we cuckle up like orgasm, Shigeki Nashama. Yeah. I'm looking up right now. These are Japanese bath salts.
Is that for something new instead of actually like recording it, or
and by that I mean sex.
I think it's for something new. It's like, that's the idea of like
651 bites of pasta, rejection at some surfing Amelia. For shampoo and elliptic clean dirt like brown. Progress become immortal but turn to degenerate for the hell of it. Wife who stagnate one's own innocence. Resonance. Medusa heads with a reaper side. Pumpkin look Blair Rose. Tips equal to night. Rejected. Breaks suicides up to
speaking the drum
Ishihara with Toddy. That was on my shoulder. And an Isekai upon another. Maybe with some tequila and bath salts. But the tears
Arm and Hammer will work on that song.
Damn faults. Shout out to Gaho. I can sit snapping Yandere holding
there's no drums or anything at all. It's just like this reverse saxophone
sample. Underwater beds to the quickest way today. Morty, motherfuckers.
What does that sound like?
Yeah.
Reverse saxophone sound.
Yeah.
Just putting down the tracks, keep that going.
There are different tracks that just kind of keep them going.
Okay.
Yeah,
listen,
like,
you're not a furry, okay? Lola Bunny's an exception.
You're not a
Everyone
furry.
knows that, okay? I'm sick and tired of everyone being called a furry when they're into Lola Bunny. But Lola Bunny is top tier, okay?
The worlds of comic books and anime collide
I love that
this
stuff.
weekend at the Roland Center in Roseville.
The annual anime convention kicks off at the LA.
A lot of these vocal samples are also from AnyTubers too. So like that Furry one is from these, there's like a video series about someone, people talking about their childhood crushes, and they're talking about like, oh, Lola Bunny, like I liked her as a kid, you know.
Whoops,
Yeah.
that's not what I meant. Oh my gosh. This is what happens when you go live. Semi-live.
Good.
Man, I can't believe that's you doing that. It's so legit. Wow.
Thank you.
Great.
I was also, man, there's just so many lines I did that I'm just very proud of. Yeah. And also, when it comes to the names of the tracks, they're actually references to the first line I say within the song, which is also a reference to the anime or manga I'm saying within the first few lines. So, oh, this, this sample. This is a dude eating a ghost pepper explaining a very bad romance anime.
There's very interesting combinations going on here.
Symphony to tell a tale. Woman wearing panties and velvet stockings set sail on the trail. The blended tracks where this goes shit. Hot shit detective flint on the case. Ghost trick of phantom. These detectives got a stolen heart from axes to whip.
I've tried to dabble a lot of my vocal inflections in rap. I remember a few songs I did a little more of a high funky voice. And almost to me, I almost sound like Idea. That kind of stopped, like my voice was like very strange. So I'm like, I'm gonna just rap like this.
Yeah.
This next song was like the hardest one for last day.
We'll see what happens.
Do say what happened?
Yeah.
I initially a lot of the songs were just 16 verse, 16 verse. But then I felt like I wanted to spice things up. And for this song specifically, I was like, let's not have a break and just have it just bars. So I ended up rapping like a 16 verse, like a 32 bar verse. And not stopping.
And just running out of breath then? Is that what's going on?
Kind of, but it was just like, I kept on screwing up and I'm just recording the thing I kept. So I think it was one take one time and the last line it says, Brandon Shogun's doing shotguns, so now I like slurred the that sounds, so it was like, Ruling Shogun's doing shotguns, something like that. I hated it, I was like, I'm gonna record things again! So I gotta like record, I had to record the entire verse again. Yeah.
That's the whole thing, recording is forever. I got a few regrets in some recordings I did many years ago, spending lots of money in the thing, back in those days. Good enough, but now I listen to it now, I'm just like, this is the extra 10 minutes.
Right.
And even the cringing right now, middle ages.
For this song, I want to show a little more of a tribute towards my love for do. So in the late version, after this song, there's like a little break thing where it's like a bunch of samples, like vocal samples with like a beat behind it. Yeah. I tried to make a sort of sentence with vocal samples, or at least like kind of time to yeah.
So how long did it take you to write this entire thing then?
Almost like, excuse me, I think I would get the entire verse done in like 2-3 months or like a month, but then it would take me a long time for me to be like, okay, this is actually good, scrap some ideas, so,
wow, so you're just hypercritical on what's going down.
yeah.
That's okay. It's paying off.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is a huge event for fans
fact,
for
the
Japanese pop culture. It's the anime
instrumental
festival at
on
the LA
this
Convention Center.
song,
It's the largest anywhere in North America.
One of the most unintentional
it's actually from
trying to figure out
an
exactly
credit
what
scene.
new planet they've just woken up on.
I just knew for this project, I was like, I gotta sample hentai somehow. So I did.
Hey guys, it's your Oh my god, did that spell work? You know, like the one where you write your name in your eraser?
Where are the subtitles?
I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause.
Say hi. Ask them what they do for a living, what they're here for, and which one of the modern country girls they prefer to have sit on them.
Ooh, that reminds me. I've got something hard and bent waiting for me.
God, you're making me sick!
One day you'll understand the benefits of a good curve.
Go!
My wife is coming to life.
I mean, I'll tag along with you if you want to keep going.
It's pretty stupid
I was
even by
doing
your
something like
standards.
that.
If this happens, don't be afraid to show
Again,
them
back
that
in
we
the
are
Stone
just
Age, I was
normal
literally
people.
like taking
Real
samples off of VHS
Are
tapes.
you having
Oh,
There's a pigeon outside my window.
it? It's not my fault. You're right
Just to tell a story, that's all I'm trying to do.
Good, then you can leave the broadcast so I can get my brains
It kind
worked
of
out by this
came
just
out.
caught before the third period.
Fun couple afternoons, basically.
Ah, shit.
Who the hell could this
Oh, yeah,
be
this
It
is
now?
the
reminds me of Frank Zappa and stuff like that. Yeah,
I'd suggest we bring
So
that
that
into
was
maintenance soon.
that was funny.
Sounds like you've got
Emma
some
Bloom
loose
actually
parts.
sampled Frank Zappa. Like, it showed from one song to even the interview clip right now.
Yeah.
Where it was like, it's just a little vocal sequence.
I'm about to
Would
do
you like a
something you can
snack?
teach me about later, and
That's
I'm
it.
warning you not.
But also
Yeah,
maybe
whatever.
you're going to
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Emma
It's for
Bloom
your
also
own good.
did,
No, sorry.
interview track on
I was like,
YouTube.
pretty much being thrown in the deep
Frank
end.
Zappa.
Okay.
Do you
Frank
fools honestly think
Zappa
you can defeat
sampled
me?
it. And he sampled this
You're
little
finally awake.
Watch me
part
kill him and like.
fat album.
We were just coming to the
Animated
best part.
video. No, I mean that's just like a little snippet of the song.
You ought to get
Oh,
this
Just
okay.
sample that.
Au revoir.
Whoa.
I never
It
leave.
reminds me of
Are you shitting me?
was
Okay, only
underdog kick.
one, please.
Like, song. Yeah, it was like a
yeah.
You didn't think I'd let you get away, did you?
You really ought to be more careful. Realize you left a bullet in the chamber?
Yeah, I'm coming.
So that's
I
what
was
music's
lost in
heading
that
to these
brilliant
days.
plan.
Yeah, basically what it is. You guys are tip of the spear.
Thank you.
I guess. I do.
Yeah, you don't really see much like music
it is as you say.
So then what's in it for me if I agree to help you?
This is all
I
for
feel
your
like
own
that's
good.
actually really cool. This
Why are you running away from it?
On this black rose I do swear.
But it's in a stage where it's like it's constantly evolving.
Oops, my mistake.
You know, like we've gone this. I love the song too much, by the way. But we've gone from like the golden age in the 80s to like the 90s gangster rap, to the bling era in the 2000s, and then 2010 it was more of like electronic, but also SoundCloud rap, and the mumble rap stuff, and then it just feels like it's constantly evolving from there.
Yeah.
Books on my neck, held in my
earlobe, cause my voice is known for placing knowledge like potholes with a bottle Moscato. I'll find my inner demons surrounded by books, bookhead, in the agreement, but
using their
without a
phones,
mouth,
you
there's no
can go
need to
around,
scream.
find
This ain't
samples, and literally
1984,
record
that Haydn's
something,
Christine,
and
with
just be like, okay,
sailors who
maybe
fell from
I'll
grace and drowned at sea.
like,
Apparitions, so face, romantic bliss, misery, with stars, easy me, with bars of children, the fun, weed, cake toss, as she run the MC. The woman playing roles like cheap, arctic gold tapes uploaded to Time Story. Royalties, this must be, on my watch list with another Madonna, controlled by this misfit, sick flicks. He was addicted to the euphoria.
And I ended up using the ding 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 as like
No,
and I made it into like this really good song. Because I realized that ding sound was like in A, and it was like married to A. So I made the entire song from my phone ding sound.
Why don't you go ask the judge?
When's that one coming out then?
I know.
Work in progress.
It's very well.
You heard it here first. Ding, ding, ding song.
No mad rap stories, this is war, but that ugly bastard. As he get it on the floor with the floorboard, I nailed it 2x4. The Wonderland, but that man choked by his own chord. The pianos, quiet in like Evangelion. Guitar with Reverend Roberta to lean on. To drown with the fishes in the pools of the mistress. Clean up the flares of households in the red light district. With a storm unit, brave enough to be a Yankee. With the sins of the linguistic, that's with the Tai Chi. Tai Chi, motherfuckers and chokers and fucking mochi. It's about things that see some spirals. Told me, it's a mine.
I don't know how to describe it.
I just knew it! So she lives here with a friend of hers, isn't that right? Who is she? Sarah fucking Palin?
He was so charming and handsome. I hope I
The
get to
context
meet
of that
someone
was
like
they
that at
were
school.
in this hotel and they found a cabinet, right? And they opened the cabinet for this person's hotel room and it was just a bunch of guns. Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Now it's Sarah Palin, yes.
Yeah, and it's funny because it was it's funny because it's an actual American
Whoa. For time's sake, though, we probably should get out the garbage here.
Oh, yeah.
That's the next one?
Yep.
Okay, so garbage.
This is nice. And initially this was going to be low by him. I ended up making essentially like the roots. That's that was a lot of the graphics are so a few bits and I'm actually very neat to yes.
That's exactly what I didn't want to do, but can we push? Nope. Hold up that play in the background. And then we'll talk about the
These are like very old photos too.
That one is you're talking about being a DJ. So.
Yeah, that was that photo right there was 18, 17, so 18, 17-ish.
Okay.
I was the music director as well as the DJ for KMSC, Dragons Radio at my university. So it was like the radio station at my university. And this was taking for some random. Yeah, and that was just a random selfie of me. Like, I think I was prepared for an interview on that one.
Okay.
I don't know.
Does it still look like that to this day, or is it?
Yeah, it still kind of looks like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you said you're back in there doing a show with somebody?
I'm back at DJing, but now it's a different radio station.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, instead of the school radio station, it's actually Radio Fargo. Yeah, so it's like downtown Fargo.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about there. Okay, so not quite there. Yeah. So there's the radio stuff. I love that camera.
Oh my god. So as when I first came up here in 16 to 18, I actually studied film, and I think this was during the time spring semester 17, and we were learning how to use actual film, like 16mm film, and this was my roommate slash partner and friend. We were just taking photos of like each other holding the Rolex camera, so just to be like, ooh, cool filmmaker, you know. Yeah.
Taking some promo shots for yourself. Yep.
And then the song playing is like the trip hop song that's like Portishead, Mass Attack that's inspired. So That was a promotion. That was a. I had a friend take that for me because we were using it as a reference for a collaborative album I was doing with another friend of mine who was within that home wolf community that I mentioned before. He's like a huge nerdcore rapper. I mentioned to you about how I did a remix for him.
Yeah.
Like their DMs. Yeah. His name's Connor Quest, and I said he was my first rapper that I worked with, honestly. So it's really cool just seeing like, whoa, this dude's now this like huge YouTube rapper, and I was just one of his first producers. Like, man, but
the world is smaller than you think.
Oh yeah, he's from the UK, by the way.
Yeah, see, there you go.
So it's like, but
crazy, you know?
yeah, I just had a friend just like be like, okay, take some photos of me as reference, because we end up getting an artist friend of mine, shout out to Mayer, to essentially draw us. It's like a split face with my bed. So yeah, the project was called Pro and Con, and because I'm the producer, his name's Connor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so yeah, I do cringe at my production on that song. I mean the album, not gonna lie. I put so much reverb on the vocals, man. It was not good. Yeah. And then that's me rapping at Dragon's Got Talent.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about that.
Hey, no, just leaving it up there so everyone can soak it in.
Yeah.
Cha is out live now. So you gotta go out and support. Yes.
Oh, that I love that one. That was actually, I saw Doomtree at the Palace Theater. And I love Doomtree. They're like a hip hop collective from Minneapolis. One of the most well-known members. I mean, all of them are pretty well known, but I think the biggest member is Dessa, who also did the song "Congratulations" on the Hamilton mixtape.
Oh.
And besides that, there's POS, who's also huge too, and Laserbeak was essentially Lizzo's first producer, sort of. So it was Lizzo before she got big.
Okay.
Yeah, and Lizzo and Laserbeak, they actually worked on essentially Lizzo's first album, Lizzo Bangers. Yeah. So yeah.
What was the big X on the hand for?
Oh, it was like a 18 plus concert, but there's still alcohol serving. So they were like, yeah, you're.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. So it's like, I think I was 19 during the time. 18, 19, and they're like, okay, here's the next. So people will know that you can't drink.
It's like, oh, you got tagged. Oh.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's all we got for side stories.
Yeah.
Wait, can I put you up with this? No, I better not.
Yeah, these albums are pretty long. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
I think the song after this song.
I just want to hear some more like rapping of yours. So.
Oh, yeah, it's near the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the last three tracks, I end up rapping on the first of those three. It was based around that southern Memphis, British Mafia, but also like UK style. I know each case from like Eastern, but it was just sort of based around southern hip hop. And then the one after that would based on Wu-Tang, and then the hentai episode.
The hentai episode.
Oh, this one's interesting. It's me messing around with samples, but also working with ambient music. But it's also kind of long too, so it's like, I don't know if you can skip it or not.
Alright, but all these will be linked down below so you can check them out yourself. It's definitely on YouTube there. Yeah, it's a must check out. And then we'll just do a quick thing of memory loss, and I got to get to the weekend report here.
I guess since I'm talking about memory loss, a little,
this is the newest one, right?
Yep. Also,
you gotta amp up, gotta keep your head up, adrenaline for blackmail, blazing risks, let up, bring up old discussions like recovery from concussion, with memory loss pause, don't remind me a little.
Oh, wow.
Give me a lot of something, cables to the base,
this song
like
is
samples,
essentially
to ingrain, hypnotized by unwashable stain and membrane from intense wash off imagery, vision of a cane, panoramic lanes, Mirrors
So
edges
it's like
to
hip hop
reflect.
based around
Guilt
horror.
from a man who slit wrists
And
to
this song
protect evidence once
touches on the idea of like seeing something so
interviews before the
disturbing
strap
and
this
screwed
cold
up
that
that you
remains. You
really
must be
want
going
to
insane. Straight jacket like barriers.
And then
Yourself was a
this
loud,
song
keep
also
information
refers
from
to
kitchen
James
carriers. Vision
I
merge, embrace
was just
mouths,
scrolling
erase
on
taste.
YouTube and
Acted
found some
poison,
videos
bomb
just
spit
talking
from
about
what's
some
seen
fucked
within
up
taste.
like videos on the internet.
Oh.
And it like got me so much to the point where I was like, I wish I just never knew about that. So
I went down that rabbit hole, 10 years ago. They were showing, there used to be now I don't know if it's there anymore, it was called gross.com. I don't know if that's still there, but it was just basically like people were posting up like real death
Right.
photos and just nasty
remembrance, gripping life of what the dark web destroys any seven.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
Definition can be interpreted different. Forget to mention, break silence, cured for intent, makes sense. Megan's missing for months. Webcams catching memoirs, fading drum like dumps. Despite the drugs, help themselves cope. Seeing the destruction, any sort of last hope. Can't alert, mixtape like movies shown on iceberg. PTSD from such filming, baby straight bloody diapers.
And it's just like these YouTubers they essentially talk about it. And the mythology within it, like and some of them will really review it. And I was just like, I wish I just never knew that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
People are so damn dark.
Yeah, and that song is just essentially based around the idea. So.
Oh, gotcha. Memory loss.
Yeah. It's also called Deep Blood Clowns because that's what the initial beat was called.
Well, so hopefully this doesn't give us memory loss, but we got to get to this weekly report.
There we go.
So we're going to ask you when your next concert's going to be, so you have to hang on here in just a moment. But we'll get to our weekly report, and we'll ask Chow when his next live viewing will be at. That's my head voice right there. So, okay, we're back with Cha. When's the next time we get to see you live, Cha?
I'll be honest, I actually don't know.
What?
Because like,
oh man,
I still
gotta
feel
get
very.
up in the aquarium or something.
I would love to, but I want to start off just going to open mics first.
Okay,
so,
that's fair. Yeah.
So maybe as a special thing, it'll be one of those things where it's like you'll just never know. Like I could just pop in at any open mic and be like, there he is. So
He is real. There's a sighting. All right. Well, you ready for a little juvenile destruction shot?
Let's go.
Let's do this. Okay, this week's Off the Roof. That's the weekly report. Now, these are all recycled from the summer driveway. Yeah, I'll show you the So I am not sure what these are. I just grab them randomly now. Hopefully in a week or two we'll get some stuff going. Let me put some other That was perfect aim too. You're hired. All right, so yeah, we're basically almost out of time here, Chava. It was great having a conversation with you, old man. You've been busy, and you're giving me an education on all this stuff. And I mean, this is awesome. This is one of my most favorite podcasts yet. So thank you very much for this.
You're welcome.
So let's see. We found out that you're not doing anything lately, but what do you got coming up here? You got a few more releases coming out, and
yep, I got a few more releases, a few more collaborations. There's some big ones coming up too, so I'm excited. I don't know if I can reveal anything, but
yeah, you heard it first. Be on the lookout.
Yeah, I do want to give a huge love and shout out to just everyone who supported me throughout the years. The biggest one's also like Bumper Collective, I mentioned before about them, and just everyone, honestly. So thank you so much for your support and love, and I promise I'll make it up to y'all. So
make it up to y'all.
Space Cult forever. Let's go.
Cool. So where can we find you at?
Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. You know, I tend to post a lot on like Twitter and like sometimes Instagram, but
sometimes Instagram.
Sometimes.
Not on the Tiki Tacs.
Oh yeah, actually, I do have a TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did one yesterday. It was just like a reaction. It's just like me having a plain face, like because it seemed like that was the joke for the TikTok. So it's like okay, but
oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just kind of everywhere. Just find me, I guess.
Awesome. And what you can do for us is like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff down below, even if it's nasty comments. I don't care. I like seeing all that anyways. And you can find us at uptownbandfargo.com, or you can get a hold of us at uptowntonightpodcast@gmail. If you have any ideas for guests, you want to be a guest, you want to have something you want to see destroyed on online, we'll definitely do that for you. We have no problems with that. And we're on all the social medias too, the Tiki Tacs, the Twitters, and all that fun stuff. So you can find us there at Uptown Band Fargo or at Uptown Tonight Podcast. Definitely look out for all of that. So remember, if your drummer has more charisma than your front man, your band may be in trouble. But that's why my band's doing just fine. So until next time.
Hey, just a little baby turtle.